hot session 2 days ago at the Weekapaug Rocks, and had a lot of fun over there. Got thoroughly soaked, but had a hell of a good time. I was actually in the surf up to my knees maybe, and waves were hitting over my shoulders sometimes, but it was nice. Anyhow, over to Perry, W3MMR and the old military radio net, AJ1G.
AJ1G and the old MILRAD net, W3MMR. Good morning, Chris. Good morning to you, Glenn. Good morning, Brown, Ted, Steve. Anyone else who may be lurking in the shadows? Good morning, everyone. Figured I'd jump in here since there wasn't too many folks. I could get in real quick. I gotta do my Saturday morning routine. Gotta run out for a little bit after this transmission, but I'll be back around 6 to hop back in here. So figured I'd jump in and say hello real quick before I headed out the door. Everyone really pretty much except for Ted and Steve, which are the two close folks, are really bombing in this morning. Really good conditions. Since we're getting closer to fall here, it's come to be expected, and I hope the conditions start to, keep improving. Steve, you're right above my noise level. I don't know if you're listening on the web SDR this morning or not, but you're right above it. So I can kind of make out what you're saying. Ted, you're right at it, but everyone else is 15 to 20 over. Brown is the gatekeeper this morning, almost at 30 over. So we're on the new antenna this morning. Put up a 125-foot, 600-ohm ladder line fed doublet. Was running a half-wave inverted V up about 30 feet before. Cut here for 3885, but now this is up about 50 to 55 feet, probably 55 feet. And it's been a vast improvement over the half-wave inverted V that was coax fed with RG8X. Whether it be the height because I live in the city, or some other factor, at any rate, this antenna has been a vast improvement. Everybody's telling me that I've gone from an S9 to 20 to 30 over. Some of the signal reports I've been getting have kind of been unbelievable, and people have been raving about how much better I've been coming in. So hopefully it keeps on. I keep on getting some good signal reports with it. But so far so good on the other bands. It's been working out phenomenal, better than the G5RV that I was using for the upper bands. So far so good. And we're just on the Anon this morning. Warm the DX100 up when we get back and hop over on that, hopefully, since conditions are good. So I'll turn it over to you, Steve. Keep things moving around here. If I'm not back for the next one, which I probably won't be, hopefully I'll be back for the one after that. So anyway, over to you, Steve. 83HT in the old MILRAD net. W3MMR.
Interesting to see if I hear Ted this time, because your signal came up. So, yeah, good morning to everyone. And Chris, you didn't say whether you've caught any fish or just water. So I'm not sure. I know you were deep in the water, but did you catch anything? And yeah, it's a pretty day here, I guess. I don't know. See if I can see the temperature. 62 degrees here, and it's been a beautiful week. It's really been gorgeous. We've had my son and his crew putting on a metal roof on the house and repointing and rebuilding the chimney, and various other things going on around the house. So we've had a busy week. Picked up some steel yesterday to make some, replace some tower bases and such. So got that done, and finally got the 75A4 on the shelf here, where it belongs. And just overall good week. Doggy is not doing great, and so keep trying with her. Don't know how much time we have left, but she's still a happy dog, still active, and so it doesn't seem like it's time yet. Anyway, that's what's going on here, running T368 Charlie, and listening on one of my SDR receivers, and also remote receiver for Ted. Oh, excuse me. I don't know if there's a lot of atmospheric noise down south today. I wonder how it's going to be for those guys. It's fairly noisy up here, but everybody is nice and strong. So, to you, Sir Brown, W1NZR in the old military radio net. This is KD3HT.
Thank you very much. Very nice to listen to. KD3HT. Good morning. Just away, but carrier level meter on the R390A up around 70 dB. And Steve, you're not far behind. Chris, I was not copying all that well. But I'm sure that'll change. So, yeah, I got up about 4:30 and started the coffee pot, and then I came down and listened on this receiver here in Radio Central, and it was so nice, I thought, okay, I can run a relatively low power rig. So I went out to fire up the GRC46, which is the T195 R392, and I misplaced the power supply pigtail because I've been working on the power supplies for the thing. So I left a web of profanity that is still hovering above the bunker as I searched in vain for 15 minutes for the foolish thing. I don't know what the hell I did with it. But since I do have more than one radio, I warmed up the TDO, and that's what I'm on at the moment. And she decided to cooperate this morning. Some mornings she doesn't, but she's on this morning, so that's good. So I'm happy with that. And when the sun comes up, I'll search for the pigtail for the power supply. I've been working on a couple of different supplies for the 46, and I just don't know where it's misplaced. So I'm having a cup of coffee and I'm calming down. And Steve, yes, as I mentioned to you, I've got roof envy. Very nice that you've got a new roof coming there, and sorry to hear that Dharma isn't doing all that well, because she's a great doggie. So, and good morning to you, Glentron. Copying you well also, as usual. So with that, I think I hand it back up to Ted. And again, Ted, you're just booming in here, sounding very, very good. And it would be a great morning for lower power rigs, but I'm not prepared. So we'll just stay with the medium range stuff. W3PWW and the old military radio net from W1NZR. Go ahead, Ted.
Yeah, that was Charlie. Stand by a minute, Charlie. Oh, no, I'll go ahead and make one, then pass it back. K4FNY, go ahead, make one.
W1CW.
Okay, Ted. 3PWW, K4FNY. Well, I've been in here for a few minutes, Ted, listening. I've got a really high atmospheric noise level here. I don't know if it's that storm out in the Atlantic or what, but it's probably going to cause us a lot of grief here over the weekend when it moves into inland. Anyway, I'm copying a few stations here. I can hear Steve and and almost copy Brown. I mean, he's not quite as strong as Steve, but he's coming along. So everyone have a good net this morning. 6 degrees in the Atlanta area. I'm running the B2610I this morning. And for the CCAS, 64 HQ150 receiver. W3PWW, K4FNY.
Okay, Charlie, very good. K4FNY, W3PWW. Signal's not the usual pounding signal up here, but it is 100% copy. A little staticky down here this morning. And I'm copying everybody right now. Glenn and Chris and Perry's signal came up remarkably in a few minutes, actually. And Steve, you're in here big also. Also Brown. So really copying everybody right now. Okay on everything, and yes, Brown, I understand. I don't have the area size that you do, but the size area that you do with the where you are there. But this room over here, I lose things in here all the time. Really unbelievable. I don't know what happens to it sometimes. I guess you could say the place is kind of cluttered, but that's putting it nicely. Anyway, we don't have any attic in this house, and we don't have any basement in the house, so this area here is the attic and the basement. So you can imagine a lot of the things we don't need over in the main part of the house wind up over here, so it's just a little bit cluttered. Okay. Steve, okay on everything there, and your signal came up from about 0 to 40 dB on the receiver here in just a few minutes. So let's hope it hangs in there. Okay, anyone else out there for the old military radio net? Please call now.
This is Victor Yankee 2 Whiskey. I don't know if you can hear me. It's kind of light in here, but I hear you. This is Victor Yankee 2 Whiskey Tech.
Okay, John, got you here 100%. BY2WW. Anyone else over? The Yankee Tango, Mike, give me your call again, please. The full call, over. Okay, WA3YTM on frequency. Why don't you go ahead and make a transmission and then pass it back, and then we'll make a full round. WA3YTM, go ahead. Okay, very good. Fine, Roger. Nice signal from the T368 this morning. That's what we're using here also. Okay, back up to the top. We have N1SNG, AJ1G, W3MMR, KD3HT, W1NZR, K4FNY, VY2WW, and WA3YTM, and back to net control. N1SNG, W3PWW, and the old military radio net. Go ahead, Glenn.
W3PWW and the old military radio net. And a very good morning to the group. Nice meeting you this morning, Roger. WA3YTM. My name is Glenn, Golf Lima Echo, November. We're located in North Kingstown, Rhode Island. Running an ART-13 this morning, listening on the Hamlin SP 600. And a very good morning to John, BY2WW. Nice signals this morning from the North Country. Good to have you in here. And Charlie, K4FNY, good morning to you. Not a very strong signal this morning, but a lot going on down that way. And as far as the atmosphere goes, with that hurricane and all, so hopefully you do not get involved with that there. And of course, Brown, I thought I heard some profanity out there outside the door. That must have been coming from Jamestown then. Yes, and how cluttered we get. And we have to look around sometimes and how the walls have started to close in on us. And if you can see the walls and just so much stuff. And, it has there's somewhat of a beauty to it also, so yeah, it just reinforces the bomb-proofing there down at the bunker. A little armor plating. So nice to hear you in here this morning, Brown, and hopefully everything's going well down in Puerto Rico there. I don't know if you're still in that vicinity, but yeah, it looks like it's going to get pretty nasty. And Steve, very good on the tower, doing some welding there and roof work. Sounds like you're pretty busy before the weather comes, getting all those outdoor projects put away and enjoying a little bit cooler weather for sure. And it sounds like your Poochie there is in its senior years, and hopefully everything goes okay there.
And
I've experienced that several times. And Perry's out on jogging or something there, so he should be back soon. And again, Chris, not hearing Chris that well so far. Anyway, here's some crackling and popping coming from the ART-13. I think it's, I just think it's the modulation transformer. So nothing I can smell yet, but we'll keep our nose on that one. Anyway, I'm going to send it over to Chris and see how things are going in Connecticut. And how's retirement going, Chris? AJ1G and 1SNG.
AJ1G, go ahead.
Okay, very good, Ted. W3PWW and 1SNG and the old NORAD net. AJ1G, well, been through 4 weeks of retirement so far here, and I haven't worn a pair of long pants since I got home from work on the 2nd of August. It's going great. I'm keeping very busy with the garden, doing some day trips. I took the one up to Salem, and we went down to went orchid hunting down in the other end of Connecticut earlier this week. Got the 7100 running in the truck. Got the truck all rigged out as it's my mobile man cave now. It's got all my surf rods in it. You got the ham stick, got a VHF mag mount on the top. Got all the accessories, room for my beach bag with all the plugs and swivels and line and stuff. Got a bait box. Got pretty stinky from squid. I had to clean it out yesterday. But, answer Steve's question, no, I have not actually hooked a fish yet. It's a matter of being in the right place at the right time, but I've had some great times, great mornings, great nights, great times out in the water, on the water, in the water, sometimes both, and had some really nice regulars, surfcasters. Learned a lot from them, and I also found out about good conditions here. One of the things, Glenn, I don't know if you've ever been down there, but on Weekapaug Beach, even though you can't during the summer season get out on the beach there during the day because it's there's a couple of private beaches there. at night, at 6 o'clock at night to 8 in the morning, it's open. You can go in and fish, do whatever you want. Basically, they just want fishermen in there. And then I'm going to probably get a sand pass from Coastal Resources Management. Maybe this year, I don't know, probably wait till next year. And you can go further out towards the Quaney Breachway. And you're probably familiar from all that from your windsurfing days. So, at any rate, it's been great fun out there and really enjoying it. Just learning a lot, too. Yeah, the Quaney Rocks, or not Quaney Rocks, the Weekapaug Rocks at Weekapaug Point are really cool. You can actually, you're up 30 feet, not quite as high as you are at Point Judith, but you're right above the rocky beach there. What little beach there is, it's only at low tide, and you can cast right from, right next to your car, and you've already got 30 feet of height, and you can get way out there. The only tricky part is if you do get a fish, you got to climb down the rocks to get them out. But I haven't had to do that yet. But you can also get down on a beach there too, especially to the west. There's some good spots down there. Having lots of fun doing that. You got a whole bunch of old custom rods that belong to Diane's dad, and all sorts of old classic wooden top water plugs and bait rigs and all that. So having all sorts of fun, and ham radio and surf casting go good. Weekapaug is also an excellent propagation launching area too, especially above the rocks there. Got really nice shots to every direction. Well, certainly to the south and east and west, that's for sure. So having lots of fun. Let's see, over to Perry, W3MMR, if you're still in here. AJ1G, Stonington, Connecticut.
Well, Perry had to run, but I'm going to take the liberty of taking his place and checking in myself. W2SDR, since he's my son. So, anyway, good morning, guys. Haven't checked in a while, so I'm hearing everybody well this morning. So I don't have a whole lot, but I just wanted to check in. And Perry will be back later for another check-in. He had to run very shortly, and he'll be back by the time the next round, I'm sure. So I'm not sure where it goes next, but whoever is, pick it up. And good morning to everybody on the net, and thanks for letting me squeak in here real quick. W2SDR.
Yeah, okay, W2SDR. I haven't heard you in quite a while. Good to hear you on there. And great pounding signal in here this morning. So it looks like conditions are pretty good here. Oh, it goes to Steve X, KD3HC. Steve, go ahead, then it goes to Charlie, or rather to Brown, W1NZR. Go ahead, Steve.
KD3HD and the Milradnet W1NZR returning. Interesting, Steve. Your signal strength has remained the same. The noise level has started to come up with the cracklies and static crashes. So interesting. It'll be interesting to see how Ted's signal is. And very good morning to beautiful signal from PEI up there. Good morning to Roger. I'm not sure whether it's Yankee Tango November or Yankee Tango Mike, Roger. Try to listen a little bit better next time. It's a very nice signal into Rhode Island. Brown over the color, and I'm in Jamestown. From Glen over in North Kingstown. And again, the 368 sounds very, very nice. I also have a 368, but I haven't had it on in a couple of months. But sounding great. And good morning to you, Frank. And very nice signal from you as well, as usual. And I'll look forward to hearing Perry again. I think he's just running his DX100, and it's really sounding good. So we'll see if the conditions hold up. And Steve, yeah, well, at Field Day, you'll remember we had it was just power supply crap out left and right. And I'm not using the generators. I was using the PP2463, the supply that was normally used in a GRC 142 for the GRC 106 setup. And I finally cobbled one of those together that was working. But I actually have another supply that I've been working on, and that's why the pigtail is not in the 28-volt supply. So because I was trying to, I have yet another one, a newer supply, a 70-amp supply, actually half the size of the 2463, that I'm trying to dedicate to the GRC 46. So. And as Ted has found out through experience, and I have too, I've just misplaced it. But I'm sure, Glenn, I'm sure you heard me. Because I was pissed off. Because I know the thing's here. You'd think that I would have put it down in an obvious place, but I looked in the garage. I came back and looked in the shop in the house. I don't know where the hell the thing is, but I'll find it later today and figure it out. And yeah, Ted, I do have. I've got clutter as well. Even though I try to be organized and neat, there's only so much you can do and still accomplish things. And I do have a fair amount of area, so it's somewhere around here, and I'll drive myself to distraction, but in my old age, I have realized that I really just misplaced it. When I was very young, I would completely go berserk. Where the hell did that thing disappear to? And it's only because I wasn't practicing mindfulness when I was fooling with it. I've forgotten what I did with it. It's around someplace, so I'll deal with it. Steve, glad to hear you straightened out the 7504. I think the biggest problem was it AGC that was really driving you nuts, ADC? I'm not sure. But I'm glad you got that straightened out. Those are beautiful receivers. And very good on your perseverance there. And you made a lot of progress in straightening up Radio Central. It's nice what hanging around home and not having a real job can do for your radio work. Although I know you're looking for the former. Anyway, let's shoot this down to Charlie. Charlie, very good morning to you. As Ted mentioned, you're not your usual strengthy self, so I guess the atmosphere is sucking up some of your RF as you await the storm, and hopefully it won't affect you too adversely, but it is of serious concern. So down to you. The VC610 sounding good, but yeah, you're not your usual strengthy self. K4FNY and the Milradnet from W1N ZR. Go ahead, Charlie.
Okay, Brown, W1NZR, K4FNY. I can use sound, but not really good. I've got real high atmospheric noise here. So I did.
But you're just doing great in here, Charlie. Fantastic signal. There's a slow rolling QSB on everybody, but you dropped down a little bit there at the end, but I can still copy you, and most of the time you were 5.9 plus on the vertical here. Beautiful copy all the way from Georgia to Prince Edward Island this morning. And I don't know if everybody's hearing me or not, but I'll just say good morning. We're talking to almost everyone off the air. Some stations are better on the QAX, just propagation-wise. With the one notable exception there, Charlie was much better here on my vertical. And good signals from everybody. N1SNG running a 5.9 plus, AG1G, not a 5.9 here. Didn't hear Perry. And W2SDR was booming now, 20 over 9. Channel 3 HT with a very good signal, Steve. 20 over, 10 to 20 over. And then W1NZR, not copyable over QIX, but very good copy here. Q5, 10 to 15 over 9, and with QSB. So that gets the rundown on all the signals. Really good to hear everybody. I think Ted was hearing me last time, but if not, somebody can relay. So good to hear you folks in here, and I'll pass it back to Ted. W3 Papa Whiskey, Yankee 2 Whiskey.
Yeah, okay, John, very good. Nice signal down here this morning. Well above the noise. And I'm getting some static here also. Not as bad as I've heard it other mornings, but it's in there. And right now, all the signals I'm receiving here are well over it. Okay, next up is Roger, WA3 YTM, and then it goes to WA2 EJT. I heard him check in also. WA3 YTM, go ahead.
Okay, WA3 YTM. Man, I am not copying anybody. I've got a ton of static. I hear you, Brown, loud and clear. 5 by 5, but boy, oh boy, the rest, I am struggling with the noise. So I think I am going to stand out, sit back, and just hope it improves a little bit. I will pass it to WA2 EJT. I didn't get his name, but we'll pick it up. WA3 YTM 73, guys.
73, Roger. Thanks for checking in. WA2 EJT, go ahead, Joe. One more time, WA2 EJT, go ahead.
Yeah, WA2 EJT, go ahead, Joe.
Okay, maybe next time, next round. Okay, anyone else out there for the old military radio net, please call now. Anyone else for the net, please call now. Over.
So Joe's in there. Over.
Okay, roger that. Go ahead, Joe. Stand by for you.
He's been talking. He's just real light.
What happened to his signal? He's way down in the noise now. But did copy some of that, Joe, so we'll leave you on the list. Any other stations for the old military radio net, please call now. Anybody else for the net, please call now. Okay. Roger checked out, and Joe's still in here. So the next round to be N1SNG, AJ1G, W3MMR, KD3HT, W1NZR, K4FNY, VY2WW, and WA2EJT. And when Joe first checked in, he was really strong, but second round there was not very good. So still having some difficulties with some of the stations. And yes, John, VY2WW, there is like a slow QSB on some of the signals here. Some on yours, but when you go into the fade, it's not as bad as some of the other stations. Back up to you, Glenn. N1SNG, W3PWW, in the old military radio net. Go ahead.
W3PWW, the old military. I did hear Joe in there. Joe was very, very light, but he was... copy me, and you're on the list here. And again, John, nice signals this morning. And Brown, yes, it's... I know I've had to go out and buy something that I've already had, so, yep, it's, in any case, you should be just fine now. And very good morning to Frank at W2SDR. Quite some time. Beautiful signal this morning. Perry's probably on his way back there. Hopefully he'll be able to check in this time. Very good morning to you, Frank. You're not here, Chris. Sounds like Chris is just a good time of year to do that. Realigning things, and hopefully we'll be able to hear his signal here next time around. So I'll keep it short, growing list, and send it right over to Chris, and see how things work out there. Might need a relay. AJ1G in the old military radio net. To take it from N1SNG. Over.
ahead, Frank, if you're still in here.
Norway 5, Alpha Charlie Romeo.
Okay. Where's the Steve? KD3HT. Go ahead, Steve.
Me, Brown. W1NZR. W1NZR. Please go ahead.
Wanting to check in there. KD3HT and the Milrad Net from W1NZR. Yeah, still copying you very, very nicely, Steve. In fact, that time you were overriding the noise, almost full quieting. And Ted is, he's just pancaking the noise, still just flattening it. But very interesting, I did not hear Joe when he broke in the first time, Richard, it must have been 20 minutes ago. But this past time, I did copy him. And then Roger, WA3YTM or N, I'm still not sure of his call, Massachusetts. But this last time, I could barely copy him. So, and I'm still not copying Chris. Chris is still down in the noise. So the propagation is doing some interesting things this morning, I must say. But again, Steve, your signal remaining about the same, and John up in Prince Edward Island, still very nice signal. I don't have a computer or SDR capability here in Radio Central, so I'm just on standard receive and copying most people quite well. But some interesting propagation characteristics, and one has to wonder what something of the magnitude of Dorian does to things here. I think we are getting some noise from that, and certainly Charlie's being affected by it. So anyway, keep it moving right along. And again, Ted, there are at least two other stations trying to break in, but I'm going to move it down to Charlie and around as you've dictated. So down to you, Charlie. And yes, I recall the story on your BC610, and thank you for saving it from the dumpster, because it is a good sounding machine. I have one as well over in Radio 3, and I haven't had it on in probably a year and a half. So many radios, so little time. It's difficult. K4FNY and the old military radio net from W1NZR. Go ahead, Charlie.
Go ahead, Charlie.
quiet the noise down. But other than that, there's nothing else I can do here. Still have to nurse you for Mother Nature. Anyway, I appreciate your patience.
Still Q3 to Q4 copy here. Great copy, but I can dig you out. And very nice. That's amazing. Yeah, we're about 25 or so minutes past sunrise here, so the signals should start to fade a little bit, especially the more distant signals such as yours, but I am still copying you on the vertical here. I don't have any copy on QIX SDR of you at all, by the way. That's very interesting. And let's see, all the other signals here still coming in about the same, not too much of a change here. So I don't have a whole lot to report as far as different signals this time. Everybody's still coming in okay. I don't know how much longer it'll hold up, but we should be able to get one more round in. And I think I'll pass it to Roger. I'm not sure if he's copying me, and I'm not sure if his call sign. I thought it was WA3YTM, but it might be WA2YTM. But I was copying Roger 59. And
frequency's in use, bud.
We'll try to pass it back to him, and if not, maybe possibly Ted or someone can pick it up and do the relay. WA3YTM and Military Radio Net, and check the call. I might have it wrong. This is VY2WW, Prince Edward Island, Canada.
Okay, John, very good. You lost a little power that time, and your signal kind of went down at this location. I'm going to try Joe one more time. WA2EJT, go ahead, Joe.
Okay, Ted, this is WA2EJT. Copying you a little bit better at the moment, but signals are all over the place, Ted, but great to be able to hear you at least a little bit. I heard the station W1GTX just in front of me trying to check in. I was copying Glenn and Chris and Brown, but signals up and down, but it's good to have any signals at all this morning. Getting the ART-15, the DC-348 and the R-2042 fiber. Some other interesting tuning up signals on and around the frequency. Ted, I wonder if you're going to be at Gilbert this year. I wonder if you're going to be at Gilbert, and if so, what, if you have any idea which day or days that you'll be there. Because I'd very much like to see you there. Some interesting projects going on here, but given the variability of the propagation, I'll just leave things at that. I will be able to be here till...
The frequency's in use, man.
About 4 or 7, Ted, and then I'll have to pull out. So, what is that, 45 minutes. So, hope you're able to read any of this, Ted. W3PWW. And again, I wonder about you and Gilbert. WA2EJT. Go ahead, Ted.
Okay. Didn't get much of that, Joe. Really a difficult copy. The static level has come up considerably here.
Labor Day sale.
So making copy rough here. Okay, Perry W3MMR, go ahead and make one. And I'm going to put you back up in your position, third in the line there from the top. I got to pick some other stations up here. W3MMR, go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Ted. W3PWW in the old Mill Red, not W3MMR. Yeah, there's another guy in there. I think he was trying to check in, but his audio was very, very bad. I couldn't understand what he was saying. And then he keeps trying to tune up and tuning up and down the band and causing a lot of havoc. So we hear you. Maybe you could try to get in here after I'm done here, but I won't make it long. But anyway, good morning, everyone. Back from my Saturday morning routine, and Everyone's still coming in real good. We just had to make a run here this morning, but anyway, still on the Anon. Going to jump over to the DX100 here in a minute if we go one more round here, but I'll keep it moving along. And you can throw me back up in my other spot there, Ted. Back over to you, Ted. W3PWW in the old military radio net. W3MMR.
K3HVG.
Okay, Jake. Gotcha. Okay, Perry, very good. And, yeah, you're going to be third from the top next round here. Okay, I got to pick some stations up here. K3HVG. And, Brown, you asked about Roger's call there. It was Whiskey Alpha 3 Yankee Tango Mike, WAPYTM. That was his call, but he checked out because of poor receiving conditions. Okay, I've got K3HBG. Anyone else up there for the net, please call now. Okay, got W1 GTX. Anyone else, over?
November 5, Alpha Charlie Romeo.
Station, try to check in again, please.
November 5, Alpha Charlie Romeo.
W5ACR, Ted.
Okay. W5ACR. Roger that. Okay, anyone else, over? Okay, let's pick up K3HBG, W1GTX, and W5ACR. Then back to net control, and we'll get back up to the top. K3HBG, W3PWW. Go ahead, Jeep.
Okay, good morning, Ted. Good morning, all. W3PWW. The old military radio net, K3HVG. Jeep in Frederick, Maryland, running commercial gear this morning. If it gets better, a lot better. You're good copy, Ted. You're about 10 and 15 over. I copied Joe 100%, Ted. He was asking if you were going to be at Gilbert this year. He was inquiring about Gilbert. So, nothing much from here, to be honest. Tried working on those SX25s and not having any success, so I may just have some parts units here, don't know. Anyway, I won't hold it. W1 GTX and the old military radio net, K3HVG, over.